Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is the horoscope for Scorpio. If Scorpio is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so this is a bonus reading for Scorpio, and our card tonight is the Queen of Swords. All right, let's go ahead and take a look and see what these tea leaves have to say. Immediately, I'm already seeing a face, kind of a head, a face. We have a goat. Look at this. You can see the front of the head, the eyes, kind of you can think of the billy goat with its little goatee. And we have the horns up here. Okay, so what does that mean? And it's so big, it's right in the middle. Absolutely a symbol of strength. This is a being that can traverse the most difficult of situations. This is one that finds footing even where there seems to be none. Okay, so where maybe others thought you might fail, maybe you even thought you yourself, I can't do this. This isn't going to work out. I don't know what the heck I'm doing here. You find a way. Absolutely. And so I look at this, it is one of the most powerful symbols that there are as far as animals go. Okay. So I really do. I have this feeling of you being very robust, a feeling of your energies really being recharged and just ready to face the world, right? Making moves, getting things done. And I feel like you have a lot of confidence around this. Absolutely. So, this is a perfect thing to start out with, a perfect symbol. It couldn't ask for much better. So, we're going to keep looking. We'll go ahead and kind of spin this around. And so if you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave the little like button, hit that little like button, or a comment, please do. I'd love to hear from you, especially if you are new to the channel. Okay. Okay, so we have horses. We have a person on a horse here. And so it looks like it's the same up here. So it's the horse in movement. So there is some kind of change happening. Now, we have that Queen of Swords energy. So I feel like it's there's been some revelation, right? You can't get much past this Scorpio person. You all are super perceptive. But now, do you always take that information in and really act upon it? Maybe not always, right? You're good at kind of sitting back, seeing what's going on and really taking note. But when we have the Queen of Swords, this is okay, I see it, I feel it, and now I'm going to move upon it, right? Something here is shifting. And I do feel like, this is kind of, it feels like it's something core to your life. It really does. It feels like, you know, there's been, I'll just be honest, it feels like something, like a secret has been exposed, right? Like somebody finally just told you what it is. Like you've known, you've maybe had a feeling about it, but suddenly all of the pieces are there. And it's not something that you can really, I feel like it's not something you can really live with. It's like this, okay, now I finally understand what the big picture is here, why things were happening the way they were, and I feel like this has been kept from me, right? Like purposely people in my life were maybe hiding something from me, or they didn't know how to tell me, they were too afraid to tell me, so they just kind of omitted it, right? And this feels like a betrayal. Absolutely feels like a betrayal. And so I can see you kind of getting on that horse and taking off, right? At least for a while. I feel like this is a time where you just are, I'm not having this right now. I need to just kind of disengage. I need some time. I need to go think about things. I need to go do other things. Get my mind off of this, you know, direct pain that I am feeling. And so, I do, you know, I feel like you are just kind of, on the move, you know, on the move, doing your own thing. And I'm looking over here. It looks like we have a person who has a bag. It looks like they're running, ultimately. Behind them, it looks like there's a person who is holding something out. And it almost even looks like another goat there. And immediately what I thought, it's almost kind of this feeling like, well, you'll be okay. You're strong. Right? You have all of the tools you need to kind of figure this out, to get through this emotional time, to process this thing that has been exposed, right? And I almost feel like it's like, okay, I know I'm strong. I know I can do this. I know that, you know, this isn't going to like be the worst thing that ever happened in my life, but I also don't always want to be strong. Sometimes I just want to feel my feelings. Sometimes I need to just kind of, you know, go off and do what I need to do to, you know, begin to be able to really look at this thing, you know. So I feel like it is kind of this need for a little bit of distraction. Now, to be careful that you are walking on the path, not veering off into escapism, right? Getting kind of spiraled out into, you know, kind of self-medicating or you know, filling your time and moments up with things that bring like a real sense of sensation, right? And that's I'm trying to figure out how to say this. You know, it's easy to get lost in things that make us feel deeply, or you know, just well, for me, right? I'm in recovery. I you know, have issues with substance abuse. I've been in recovery for almost 10 years now. But you know, that doesn't mean that I'm not an addict just because I've been in recovery. It transfers to other things. I look for, you know, very immersive things that make me feel a lot, things that I can, really like kind of lose myself in. But then there's also other things. Like for me, I went from, using substances to, sometimes like overeating, indulging in eating my feelings, right? And, and it can be just as problematic. Absolutely. So, when we have these times where it's like, something happened, somebody lied to me, I found out some family secret, somebody has been maybe unfaithful to me or actively moving against me, saying things about me, whatever it is, right? It's something that it's not just kind of painful, it's pretty dang painful. It might reshape the landscape of how I am living, right? That's a lot to face, especially up front. It is. It makes sense. Sometimes we want to get away from it. I want to do something else. I want to go play my video games. I want to shut the door. I don't want to talk to anybody. I want to focus on this. This is all I want to do right now. Let me just kind of unplug from what's going on. And okay. We all need a little bit of that, but it can get to a point where I've been in my room for 5 days. I've been missing work. I've been playing games, watching TV. I don't want to get out of bed. It can get a little too deep, a little too fast, right? So, making sure that you are tempering self, Scorpio. Making sure that you are, following your routines, meeting your responsibilities, trying to keep things as normal as they can be. Making a plan, right? Going through kind of what is happening here. Let's look at it logically. If I can't look at it directly, maybe then putting that anxiety, that kind of shifting feeling, what am I going to do? Am I going to move out? Am I going to not talk to my parents anymore? Am I going to, whatever it is, I don't know. I don't know what the exact situation is, but it feels important. It feels kind of devastating in some ways. But really trying to have a general idea of what am I going to do. If you don't already have a plan for yourself, right? You might be a little neurotic like some of us, right? And have a lot of like backup plans because, hey, listen, some of us have been through a lot in our lives and we know things never stay as, we want them to. Things are always changing. We are in a world that is in perpetual motion. There is no fixed state. Okay. If by chance you don't, yes, empower yourself through making a plan, right? Setting it into motion. Okay. Trying to bring those reactive impulses down as much as possible. Talking to somebody in your support system. Don't bottle it up. Don't try to hide it from, now you don't have to tell everybody. You don't have to be on social media, announcing it. Although if that's what you want to do, do it, right? But at least having one support person that you can talk to. Now, if you don't have this in your private life, maybe looking into having a counselor, a therapist, if you are lucky enough to have insurance or access to some kind of mental health practitioner. These are always, I would always advise if you can talk to them, do it, right? Go and find one, start setting that up. There's something about being able to talk to somebody who's like a third party, who is uninvolved, but they also have rules and regulations, right? They can't tell anybody about what you're talking about. So you can go in there and really kind of open up, okay? At least, you know, hopefully that's the goal. And so definitely engaging your support system. That's going to be a big deal here. Now, it doesn't feel like a good feeling here. I mean, the situation is not ideal, but is all lost. No, I don't think so. I think that this has been a necessary shift in your life. You know, like I said at the beginning, I think you already knew something was up, you know, before anything kind of became clear. But this seems to be like something that needed to kind of happen. Because ultimately it's like reverberating through your whole life if you know exactly what's going on or not. And so I also see we have the Empress right here. Okay, so she is sitting, she is enthroned, she is in a place of clarity, of power. But not only that, the ability to kind of regenerate or to begin again. We think of the Empress in terms of Persephone, right? This is the goddess who was taken down to the underworld, stolen and taken to the underworld. Well, she ends up thriving down there, right? She becomes the queen of the underworld. She really actually does pretty well at her job and, you know, really kind of excels and enjoys it. But, you know, once a year, she returns to the surface, right? She comes up to hang out with us all, and she ushers in spring. She is the bringer of life, right? And you can imagine sometimes in some of her portrayals, the Empress, she's surrounded by flowers, okay? And so this is a rebirth, okay? I know, Scorpio, we've had some stuff in these last couple of years. I know you've had some tower moments. This might be fixing to be a little bit of a tower moment, okay? But you will meet this well. You will meet this with the strength that I know you have. You have that goat that we saw at the beginning, okay? Is that it? No. Where did it go? Now I don't remember. What's the go even in this reading? Oh my gosh. I've done so many readings today. Yeah, I think the goat is in this one. I think this is it right here. So, you know, yes, that's so terrible. I'm like, wait, was that in my Cancer reading? Now I'm thinking. No. The goat is in this one. So, I'm not looking for the goat anymore. I'm just looking at this. We do. Here's the goat right here. Here, the eyes. Yes. Okay, there it is. There it is. I know. So, yeah, the strength. I already know that you were strong for this, right? You were strong. You can do this. Does it feel good? No. It does not. It does not. I'm just trying to look through here. I feel though, and we do have this illuminating candle here, and we have hearts, but it feels like through this situation that's happening, there will be the emergence of another relationship. Now, again, not necessarily romantic, but I do think of friendship, okay? And I think that this will be somebody who maybe has gone through something similar. And I do feel like this is going to be somebody who really you can lean on. You're going to find that you'll find support in the most random places when you are going through it. And it really, my perception of this is when we are going through something that is so painful or chaotic or unexpected or whatever, we really are stripped down of our inhibitions, right? At least in these places where usually we stay pretty buttoned up. We don't cry in public. We don't tell people about our problems or, whatever it is. But when we're going through it, sometimes we just can't help ourselves. That draws in people that usually, sometimes it can be people that are kind of predatory, and watch out for that, by the way. But people who have been through similar things, they want to connect. People who are healers, people who are genuine and authentic because they see that you are in a moment of authenticity. You can't help but be whatever you are because you're going through this thing that has been quite painful. And I don't know about you, but I can't put it on when I'm not feeling, when I'm really upset or hurt. I'm not good at acting like I'm cool, and I feel like you're very much the same. So I feel that this will be the emergence of probably a really good friend, probably somebody who will stay in your life, for many years to come. So this maybe will be the great blessing of this larger situation that's happening. Okay, so do not worry. It's going to all be okay. It's going to work out. And actually, you're going to end up with maybe something better than you started with. Okay, so we have a T. We have the number 2. We also have, it looks like a B. Okay. T, the number 2, and B. I have this, we have T-O. So I have this feeling of where are you going to? Where are you going to? We have the owl. So I feel there is a sense of really kind of thinking about where is next? What is this next move I'm going to make? Now maybe this is actually in the physical world. This might also be kind of developing of self. Where am I going to go with myself next? How am I going to work on myself here? When something happens in our life, and I want to use this as an example. I don't think that this is necessarily what's happening, but it's something like, there is infidelity, right? In a relationship, in a marriage or whatever. And you are going through it and you've maybe been cheated on or whatever. And you obviously, that's them. That's their choice. They did this, right? They made that decision. Okay. And we can stay in a place of blame and being very focused on what they're doing, what they did, maybe the person they've done it with, whatever, right? And that's normal, right? Who wouldn't feel that way? But ultimately, this is an opening for us to be doing self-work. And now that's not because you had some kind of, something was lacking in you and then it caused this other thing to happen. That's not why this is a good time for self-work or why we should think about self-work. It's because you have been broken open in some way, right? Something has penetrated you, hurt you. made some kind of fracture in your psyche, right? And this is a way to get deeper into ourselves. Now, is that ideal? No, right? We wish these things never happened. These hardships, these, people and their behaviors that affect us. Ideally, no, that would never have to be something we deal with. But when it does, it is an opportunity for us to really go into ourselves, to work more deeply in the places where we can fortify ourselves, where we can become stronger beings. And so I feel like this is really a question, like, what will you do with this hurt? What will you do with this thing that happened? Will you stay in the posture of contempt, resentment, blame? Yeah, maybe for a little while. But you have the opportunity to be working in these big emotions, these deep emotions, right? Finding something for yourself. Finding something that, really it gives you meaning, where everything else maybe feels completely out of whack and like in chaos. Okay. And so, this might also be one of the blessings of a situation like this, is that you end up being the person that really shows up for yourself. You end up being the person who makes use of some of this pain, right? And ultimately, as they say, being successful, being happy, finding, your power in even the most difficult situations, it's the best revenge. Do not languish in what other people have done, Now, I'm not telling you to ignore how you feel. Of course, feel your feels, but don't let it own you, okay? Now, we're going to go ahead and flip through and stop where it feels right. Oh, yes, we have this beautiful, beautiful Tibetan gateway. It feels more peaceful, right? So we're hopefully moving into a place of finding a little bit of serenity, right? A distant kiss in a prayer flag. I wish of all wishes that you were here. Through sunlight and rain, I need you near. So through sunlight and rain, I need you near. Yes. All right, Scorpio, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you, because I do. And I thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you. I know it wasn't the most easy reading. I know sometimes, sometimes it's about things that, well, I hope this reading isn't for you. I hope you listened to it and maybe took something from it, but I hope I was completely wrong. Sometimes I do. I have readings and I think, wow, I hope that did not resonate with anybody. But yeah, so, but if it does, you're going to be good. I promise you, everything's going to be more than all right. And so, if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a comment, please do. I'd love to hear from you, especially if you're new to the channel. Definitely shout it out in the comments. All right. I'm going to tell you again, I love you. Take care of yourself. We will talk real soon. Good night.